Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. I'm going to do a little thing called knife talk. I get requests all the time from people wanting me to do knife reviews and stuff like that. Listen, I'm not a knife expert. If you want a knife expert, you need to go to Cutlery Lover. You don't need to go to me. But I love knives, and a lot of you know that I have a lot of knives. And so, I like to feel the knives. I like knives. You all know the sickness. You understand what I'm talking about. Knives, gear, like this SOG multi-tool. I seen this and I'm like, I've got to have it. I don't remember now where I got it from, but what an awesome little tool. Let's see here. Anyway, and I want to actually do a review on this. I used to use, and I still have a couple of Leathermans. When I was a railroad conductor, many years ago, we used to have to make brake hoses, and they would couple together, okay, and in between the coupling would be a rubber gasket. And like an O-ring is what it was. And it just created a seal between the two brake hoses. And every now and again, a seal would go bad and be hissing, it'd be hissing really horribly. And so we would have to go, and we would take our multi-tools, crouch down between the cars, and we would take this plier part of the multi-tool and grab that O-ring and pull it out, and then insert a new O-ring. Because that O-ring could be tricky to get out, and I'll tell you right now, in the wintertime, when it was freezing out, what a freaking nightmare that was. But multi-tools were hugely important. And I used the Leatherman for a very long time with absolutely no problems. I know there are some people out there that don't like Leatherman multi-tools, but I'll be honest with you, I loved mine, and everyone ever had. So, but this SOG should be interesting. I'm looking forward to reviewing it and what its capabilities are as far as a multi-tool goes. But I don't use multi-tools anywhere near the way I used to use them when I was a conductor. So, anyway, some of my knives, this is just going to be a knife talk. It's not going to be any kind of a formal endorsement of any knives or any kind of review. So, but I'm going to tell you, when I first started doing videos on YouTube, I used this Gerber to do a lot of my unboxings and whatnot. If I bought something that needed to be unpackaged, and I got to be honest with you, for the money, this has been a really great knife for me. I still use it to this day. It's just a really a good little pocket knife. Now I like the partially serrated knives, to be honest with you, especially for EDC knives. I know a lot of people don't like partially serrated, but I'll be honest with you, I find those to be the most useful. So whenever I see a video review where people bag on the partially serrated, I think to myself, what are they talking about? Because sometimes you gotta cut some cord or something that's difficult, and if you don't have one of these as your EDC, you're going to be hunting something to cut that cord with. And why would you want to do that? For an EDC blade, too, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't have the partially serrated blade. But this Twitch, or I should say the Twitch 2, it's a SOG, is a really nice little blade to carry with you if you're just for really light tasks. The only complaint I have is I'm not a big fan of the lockback, as far as because it takes two hands to close it. But the deployment of this knife is butter. I mean, it really is. It's butter. And it's just, in my opinion, just a really great little blade. It really is. The only other knife that I would say that I like probably more as far as the deployment goes on a little knife is the Kershaw Leek, which I just gave away. I give knives away all the time. A friend of mine came from out of town last week, and she grabbed that Kershaw Leek and absolutely loved it. And I said, take it. So she put it in her pocket. Now it's her EDC. This was one of the first expensive, I would call this expensive Spydercos that I ever bought. This is the Manix 2. And I really love this knife. I really love this knife. It's an interesting knife. It's got this funky little lock on it. It deploys very smooth. It's not the fastest deploying knife, but when you consider how big the blade is or how heavy the blade is, it's actually a pretty nicely deployed knife. And I mean, it's fairly quick. I mean, if you think about it. Now, the way I close it is, if I can do this, let me do this left-handed. if I want it to be screwed up. I take this finger and this finger, okay? I don't know if I can do this left-handed. And I push this down, and the blade just drops. And it's heavy enough to drop. So the nice thing is you can deploy it one-handed and then put it back one-handed. So just like that. Pretty easy. I like this. And I don't remember now what I paid for it, but I remember thinking it was a little pricey. But in all honesty, this is a really great knife. I mean, it really is. It's the 154 CM steel. It's made in the United States. You know, Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. If you can get that. It's just really a good knife. It's a quality knife for the money. It's a good value, in my opinion. The fit and finish is phenomenal. Spyderco makes a damn good knife. You know, Kershaw's. This is a really, really amazing knife. You know, it's the Blast, the Kershaw Blast. This is made in the United States. In my opinion, and by the way, you know, opinions are like assholes. Kershaw makes probably the best knife on the market for the money. I know they're going to people right now are screaming, "Oh, you crazy voodoo! Kershaw sucks." No, Kershaw does not suck. You know, I mean, this is spring assisted. I mean, it's a blast. It's a hefty knife. I like Tantos. I know a lot of people don't because they say that it makes for a weak point. But I like Tantos, and the partially serrated edge on this knife is very aggressive. It's very aggressive, and you will if you got some rope or something to cut, you can get a job done with this. Now this is the Kershaw Needs Work, which is a funky design for the blade, but believe it or not, I've used this quite a bit, and it's a good work utility knife that is easily deployed. It's spring assisted, and yeah, it's pretty badass. It really is. I don't think this has a safety on it, which is fine because I never use the safety on my knives anyway. I know some people are big safety freaks on knives, but you know, I'm all about cutting myself, I guess. What's this called? The Scallion or something? It's got this funky scalloped blade, which I like. I think it's kind of cool. It's more of a cool knife than anything else. I've never really, you know, used it. I have EDC'd it, but I never really had the use for. No use ever came up while I was EDCing. Let's put it that way. It doesn't deploy very fast. It's not spring assisted. Sometimes you just really got to make sure you put a little wrist into it, but it's still a really great knife. Oh my, Balsong. I used to, that's the wrong way. When I was in high school, Jeff Smith's laughing right now. When I was in high school, I used to do this all the time. I was actually pretty fast at it, but not so much anymore. This is from the 80s. It's the Silver Dragon. The buck, you've all seen the buck that Jeff Smith gave me, cutlery lever gave me. I love that knife. Cold steel neck knife, the mini pail. Very cool. It's not bad for 17 bucks. Swiss Army. My forefathers came from Switzerland, so there is a special place in my heart for the people from Switzerland. Yeah. I'm running out of time, aren't I? This one here is not a great knife. It really isn't. It's very hard, well, almost impossible to play. Now, I don't know if that's because it's my short little fat thumbs. I don't really like the way this setup locks. Yeah, I don't like it at all. I don't recommend this knife. It's not a knife review, but do not waste your money on this knife. And I hate to say it because I love the Toranox, but it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, I'm at over 9 minutes right now, so I'm just gonna let this go. But yeah, if you like these knife talk videos, just with me talking about knives and showing some knives and stuff, let me know in the comment section what you think. Anyway, everybody, take care. See ya.